So today we're going to take a look at the 6 games coming this week, including Horizon's Forbidden West. Hello and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan. If you please like, share, and subscribe. Here are the games coming up February 15th, 2022. The first game on our list is Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This comes on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, Google Stadia, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions, alcoholic references, suggestive themes, and violence. This is a tactical action game in which players assume the role of warriors battling for control of ancient China. Players manage their kingdom through political actions on offensive defensive battles. Players engage in battles using swords, spears, crossbows, and bladed weapons to defeat hordes of enemy soldiers in a hack-and-slash combat. Combat is accompanied by sword slashing effects, colorful bursts of light, and cries of pain. Enemies collapse to the ground when killed. Some female characters wear outfits that expose large amounts of cleavage and or buttocks. Their breasts sometimes jiggle when performing attacks. The game contains several references to alcohol in the dialogue. The next game on our list is GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon. This is coming on PC, the rating is mature, the content descriptions, blood and gore, and violence. This is an action game in which players assume the role of a character trying to prevent demonic forces from destroying the world. As players traverse stylized side-scrolling levels, they use swords, bows, and clubs to kill demons and large boss creatures in frantic melee-style combat. Large blood splatter effects are frequently occur during battles. Some attacks result in enemies breaking apart into pieces. Players can trigger a finishing attack on weakened foes, resulting in enemies getting sliced off and or torsos cut in half. Some boss characters' death are depicted close up, accompanied by large blood splatter effects. Background images may depict large pools of blood, human corpse piles, and demons chopping human remains on altars. Now let's take a look at Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection. It's coming on Nintendo Switch, the rating is mature, content descriptions, blood, intense violence, sexual content, and strong language. This is a collection of 3 action-adventure games following the story of Desmond Miles as he relives parts of his ancestors' lives. As Ezio's players must find, stalk, and kill enemies by using a variety of weapons and stealth tactics. Players can also engage in brawls or sword fights with various soldiers. Blood splatter effects occur frequently when characters are injured. Bloodstains sometimes appear on the streets or characters' clothing. Some sequences depict close-ups of characters getting stabbed, enemies occasionally impaled in slow motion. The collection of games contains some sexual material. One cutscene depicts a man and a woman kissing and caressing each other in bed. During the seduction minigame, players follow on-screen button prompts to kiss a woman and remove her dress before the character falls into bed. Swear words appear in the dialogue. Now we're taking a look at The King of Fighters 15. It's coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions, language, suggestive themes, use of alcohol and tobacco, and violence. This is an arcade-style fighting game in which players compete in 1-on-1, 3-on-3 tournament matches to lay claim to the title of King Fighter. Players punch, kick, and use special abilities to drain opponents' life meters. Combat is accompanied by frequent impact sound, cries of pain, and colorful light effects. Several female characters are depicted in low-cut outfits that display large amounts of cleavage and or buttocks. Female characters' breasts sometimes jiggle during matches. One female character's special attack depicts her pulling an opponent's face to her breast. A handful of sequences depict close-up shots of characters smoking a cigar and a character drinking from a sake bottle. From still images, screens show drunken characters holding glasses of beer. Swear words appear in the dialogue. Now let's take a closer look at Horizon Forbidden West. This is coming on PlayStation 5, the rating is teen, the content descriptions, blood, language, use of alcohol, and violence. This is an action-adventure game in which players assume the role of a hero traveling to discover the source of a mysterious signal. From a third-person's perspective, players traverse post-apocalyptic environments and landscapes, complete quests and interact with characters, and engage in combat against enemy tribes and robotic creatures. Players use slingshots, bows, javelins, and spears to kill enemies in frantic combat. Poofs of blood are depicted as human enemies are hit. Blood stains also appear underneath the bodies in some environments. Players can also perform stealth attacks to eliminate enemies discreetly. Cutscenes depict additional acts of violence. A character impaled by swords or spears. A character crushed to death by a statue. The game depicts drunk characters stumbling around in one area saying, "I'm inebriated." One cutscene depicts Aloy drinking beer from a mug. Several background characters are seen drinking at taverns. swear words are heard in the game. And the last game on today's list is Total War Warhammer 3. This is coming on PC, the rating is teen, the content descriptions, alcoholic references, blood, mild language, mild suggestive themes, and violence. This is a real-time strategy game based on the Warhammer universe in which players fight for supremacy in a fantasy world. Players follow a storyline while fighting races and factions and engaging in diplomacy. From a top-down perspective, players arrange enemies and fantasy creatures on the battlefield, giving commands and observing combat. Battles are highlighted by cries of pain, impact sounds, depictions of bodies scattered on the battlefield. Cutscenes depict characters stalked and stabbed by assassins with splashes of pink blood in the screen. Some creatures are depicted with bloody wounds during gameplay. The dialogue occasionally references suggestive material. Dialogue also references wine, ale, grog, and a binge drinking. One cutscene also depicts poison wine splashing from a goblet. The word arse and bastard appear in the dialogue. Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.